Alright, welcome back. In this video we'll continue working on our temp converter app. Alright, so first thing first, I noticed that last time I had the wrong ID for our show temp text view. Since we have two text views here we have this first one, title, and then we have this hidden one here. I noticed that I actually referenced title one before. So go ahead and change to show result text view here instead of just text view. Alright, now we go ahead and create our convert to Celsius and convert to Fahrenheit functions, methods. There's one thing that is really important that we need to talk about. So when we talk about Fahrenheit and Celsius, we have to remember people could enter, let's say, 14.4 degrees. Right? It's very possible. So we know that integers are whole numbers. Integers don't hold decimal points. We need to use a different type that would hold decimal points. And likely we have double. So double is just a decimal number. And it would be really wise to use a double for our conversion as opposed to just using integer for the reasons that I've just explained. And the way we do that, we'll have to go and change our return type here to double, and even our arguments also here we're going to put a double, and so we're going to change everything to double and double. So now this function, these methods here will return doubles. And now we'll also have to go ahead and change a few things here that we created in the last video. One of which is the int edit text. We're saying here it's an integer, so this has to change to double type, and obviously we're gonna have to say double parse double, right? And the same goes to Fahrenheit one, so double here, and so we're gonna say double and parse double. Perfect. Now let's go start with our Celsius here. Now we know that formula to get Celsius, you enter the Fahrenheit minus 32 times 5/9. That will give us Celsius. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to create our double result here. We're going to call result cell for Celsius. And then we're going to just assign result to our formula here. So it's going to be equal, we're going to open parentheses. So we're going to say var val, we are getting here, right, as our parameter, and it's minus 32, and then outside we say times 5/9. Now to return, we return result cell, and we save that. We can do the same thing here for our convert to Fahrenheit. So we say then double result var is equal to, so we say cell val, which is what we get from here, times 9 divided by 5 plus 32. Semicolon. Copy this because this is what we're returning, and that's all we need to do here. Perfect. Now let's go ahead here and then on button call, that's where we're gonna display our results. So we know that our methods return something. So return the converted value to Fahrenheit, and this one returns the converted values to Celsius. So if we return something, we can actually fetch that return and put in a variable. And I always advise to put things into variables because it's much easier to then just call a variable and get that value we want. So let's create it here on our cell button. So when they hit convert to Celsius button. So let's go ahead and create our variable. So it's a type of double, and we're going to call it converted val is equal to, then we're going to call the function convert to Celsius. We're going to pass in this double here that we got from our edit text. So just go ahead and copy that. And so what are we doing here? We're getting the return value from our convert to Celsius method here, putting it into our convert value double variable. In order for us to then show our converted value into our text view, we say then show temp text view dot set text, and then we would definitely go ahead and pass in our converted value here. However, you notice there's a problem. Let's hover over and see. It says cannot resolve method set text to double. What this is saying here, this converted value is a double. It's not a string, and so the show temp text view is a text view, which means it only understands strings. That means we have to convert this value into a string. Only then we'll be able to then put it into our text view. It's very easy to do so. But before we do that, let's go ahead here and create a string variable. So we can say string result is equal to, then we're going to say string dot value of, and then we're going to pass in this value we're getting from our convert to Celsius here. We're creating a string variable which will then hold the converted value that we got here, which is a double. We call the string class, and the string class has this value of function here, which receives integer or double values, then convert it into a string that we can then use here. That's all it's happening here. Now we can just take this string here, copy here, and paste, and then all is going to be good. Now let's go ahead and save this and run it. Alright, so there it is. Let's put something, let's say 45. So if we go to Celsius, we should get 7.2, and this long decimal points there. We'll take care of that in a few minutes here. Good, now we know it's working. Okay, so we notice here also that we have this issue of having a bigger number here. It's 7.2222222. Since it's a decimal number, Android Java just gives us a bunch of decimal points. We certainly don't want that. We want to format this. Likely there is a way to format your doubles or your strings numbers so that they look better, they look good. Okay, the way you do it, there's a class that you can call. We're going to do it here because we want to be able to use everywhere. So we're going to say decimal format. As you can see, there's a few here. So the first one, enter. We're going to name it round is equal to new decimal format, and we pass in a string that says how we're going to format it. Now we just want to have a one decimal point here, right? So we created a round of type decimal format, and we instantiated it and said, okay, we want it to just have one decimal point when you round the number. So now we can use this round here. So inside of our value of here, we're going to call our round here so that we can format. So round dot format, and we're going to pass in here the converted value, which is this double here. So again, what are we doing here? We're just calling this round dot format function so that it takes this double and only shows one decimal point. So if we save this and run, with any luck, we should see just one decimal point. All right, perfect. Let's try this. Let's say 45. See 7.2. Let's see 40. Okay, see 4.4. You can say 6, so forth. Great. Now we have our round format working. Okay, what if we wanted to also add, let's say here, a Celsius here, right? Because we're converting this to Celsius. Why not put a C there so that when we say C, it would say 7.8 and then C, so that we know it's Celsius, right? So just put a plus and then it's C there. Save. Let's run again. Building, and there it is. Let's see, 124. There we go, 51 point C. So 124 Fahrenheit is 51.1 Celsius. Great. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the same thing since we have it working. The same thing to our F button here. Right, so we're gonna go ahead and we have a double there, edit text. Let's create another double, and we're gonna name it converted val, same naming, but it's okay. Then we say convert to Fahrenheit now, and we pass in our double edit text value there, and we create our string, the string result is equal to string. So we're converting our double into a string format, that value of. So we pass in our converted val, and of course inside here we want to also use the round dot format so that we format our converted value to 1 decimal point, and only then we can go show temp text, that's set text, and then we pass in string result, and we want to also append the f here that way. All right, okay, so if we save this and run, we should have both working now. Okay, it's running. There we go, perfect. Now let's see. Okay, ready? This is 7.8. Let's say we want to convert Fahrenheit. There we go, 172.4 Fahrenheit. If we want to go to Celsius, it's 25.6. And let's try 234. Let's convert. Let's say it's Fahrenheit. Want to go to Celsius? It's 112 Celsius. If we go to Fahrenheit, it's 453.2 Fahrenheit. Let's try negative numbers. Let's say minus 12. So let's see what's that in Celsius. That's negative 24.4 Celsius. And if it's Celsius, that's 10.4 Fahrenheit. Let's start with 0 here. This is a good test to see if this works, because 0 Celsius has to be equal to 32 Fahrenheit. So 32, great. We know at least that our formula works. Now let's go ahead and change this to be a little bit bigger, the size of our result here. So let's go here to our activity, and we know that's this here. Let's say, go here and say Android, it's a text size. Let's say give it 29 dp. Let's save that. Let's go back to our activity and let's run this thing and see. Okay, it's running. Alright, let's try this. 34, want to go Fahrenheit, 93.2. Great. Let's see, 1.1, and let's see, 56, 65 Celsius is 65 Fahrenheit is 18.3 Celsius, and if you go to Fahrenheit, it's 149.0 Fahrenheit. Great, congratulations, you have finished your second app. The temp converter app is done. Obviously, you can improve this app in so many ways. You can make this a little bit more bigger, get these buttons maybe a little bit bigger or smaller, and change this here to different size as well, and pull it a little bit below here. I mean, you can do a lot of things, but I'll leave that as an exercise for you to go ahead and do. And the good thing about this, all what we've learned building this app, you can use the same strategy here. You can use the same thought process to create any calculator you want, right? Because we've learned about how to get values from our edit text, how to then convert those values into something that we can use to calculate things. We learned how to see if an edit text is empty, and then if so, just showing a message on the screen for the user. I mean, we've learned a lot of stuff here. We've learned even how to convert doubles or integers into string values here. As you can see, we've learned a lot of great stuff here that you can use and create your own calculators. Just go out there and find different formula and create different other apps that calculate or do something. All right, that's great. Congratulations. See you in the next one.